Hello everyone, good morning. How are you guys doing today? Can you guys let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear, and then we can start. Thank you everyone. And thank you for asking how am I? I'm good. How are you guys doing today? We are gonna start, and we'll start with US30 here. So before I explain what I see, do you know what you are looking for today? You know, in this price action, if you are trading on US30 or ES, they both move the same. So what's your expectation? Is it price gonna go lower, or suppose going lower into discount, then seeking higher prices? Or throughout the AM session, you are expecting to see bearish price action. What are you expecting to see? Bullish or bearish? Before I explain, I'm asking you. Okay, so so far I did a poll on Telegram. People were saying like most of them were expecting higher prices. Okay, me too. I'm expecting higher prices too. But specifically on NASDAQ, on US30, I do see these clean levels right here. We have a breaker block. This last down close candle here, we have it as a breaker block. And this is our original consolidation phase here, okay? After the consolidation, price expanded higher, okay, hit the discount PD area here, and then dropping sharply towards the sell side liquidity, okay? If I go into the higher time frame, like 4 hour, what do you guys see here? It's a big wick, right? So whenever we see a big wick, what do? We measure it by using the gun box like this, okay? We put our gun box here, the measurement tool, and then we measure the distance between the wick here, and the consequent encroachment of this wick is right here. And as you can see, price came all the way up, okay? On lower time frame, it's a discount PD area, and as you can see, price hit it perfectly, and then it's dropping sharply, okay? So if price is expanding higher on US30, these two levels is what I'm gonna aim for, not this week's high. Rather, the consequent encroachment, the revisit of this consequent encroachment, and the upper quadrant of this week. That's what I'm gonna target. Okay, if price is showing willingness after taking out the relative equal lows that you saw on 50-minute chart. Okay, if price wanna expand higher, we will know after that, okay? And it will make a little bit more sense once I drop down to the lower time frame. I'm talking about these two swing lows here. That's a swing low, and there's another one which is relatively equal to this one. Okay, so that makes it a relative equal low. So whenever we see that, we know that it's a strong level of liquidity for price to come and take. Okay, so I want to see, before we expand higher, we do have a high impact news at 10 o'clock. So I'm also keeping that in mind. If price is providing me a plus setup, only then I'll push the button in my live funds today. Why am I being careful? Because yesterday was a large range day, okay? So after the large range day, we mostly see like price in a seek and destroy mode, or like consolidating inside of a range. So if I see something like this, I'm just gonna avoid trading today. Like something like this, okay? Price has relative equal lows here. It's not taking it out. What is it doing? It's in a high resistance liquidity run. in lower time frame, okay, if you don't have experience, you cannot just tell by looking at one candle if it's doing that. But if you drop down to the lower time frame, on higher time frame it's kind of hard if you are a newbie, but on lower time frame it will make sense to you. Look at the consolidation here, the choppiness here price did. So it's in a high resistance liquidity run. So whenever price does that, very less that I care about pushing button on my live funds. I just prefer to be a little bit more careful in high resistance liquidity run. Once price shows signs that is in a low resistance liquidity run, only then I'm gonna engage. Okay, I do see a relative equal high here and a fair value gap. So if price is taking this out, then it will make a little bit more sense, and it will give like extra confirmation for me that price will take this out. Okay, if price is going all the way up there, if price is taking this relative equal lows first, okay, suppose at 8:30 price is delivering here, then the 9:30 Judas, okay, we can expect to see price going all the way up there, as I do see relative equal highs here. Okay, if price is dropping here, okay, what's the confirmation behind me saying like it will expand higher after clearing out the relative equal lows? Okay, I'm not just taking confirmation from these two relative equal lows. Okay, I'm not just expecting price will take it out and then it will move towards the buy side. No, there's a breaker here. Okay, it's a negative breaker. That means like a bearish breaker. So I'm not expecting this breaker to provide support for price towards the sell side liquidity. Rather, I want to see price going below this breaker. Okay, possibly tapping into this BC, 4-hour BC, and then expanding higher. That will be like an ideal scenario, but price can just reverse after providing liquidity down here. Okay, that's why I'm not expecting price to go all the way down here and using this breaker as a support towards the side liquidity. Price can go all the way down here. It's gonna be ideal scenario for me to expect bullish price action. But what do you see here? Relative equal highs. Okay, and there's another swing high which is relatively equal to this one. If price is taking this relative equal high first at 8:30, or suppose price is just consolidating and then at 9:30 price is taking this level out, then I'm gonna expect to see a rejection from the consequent encroachment again and aggressive move towards this relative equal low. And if price is doing that, then I'm gonna expect to see price stepping into this buy side liquidity. If price is clearing these levels out first, then I'm not expecting to see price stepping into this buy side liquidity, rather expanding higher and taking out this relative equal highs here. Okay, does it make sense? It will. If it's not making sense right now, it will in future. Okay, once you see price doing the same thing I'm talking to you. Okay, price will either go up there or go down here. Okay, either way we'll have a clean confirmation like where price wanna move next. Okay, we are predicting price here, not reacting to it. So that's the whole analysis on US30. I hope it's real clear. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this breaker. This is the lowest down close candle. Okay, I'm not marking this candle as a breaker block. Why? Because as our mentor says in his video, we wanna mark the lowest down close candle as our breaker. We do see a clean swing here. Okay, swing high, new swing high. Is it clean? Yes, it's clean. And then price drop down. Okay, if price is going below this last down close candle, then it's gonna be working as a breaker, and we'll see if it's working or not. We do have relative equal lows down here. So that's the whole expectation from my side on US30. Now I'll talk a little bit about NASDAQ. On NASDAQ, I'm bullish. Why? The main reason is from the weekly chart. Do you guys see this relative equal highs here? Yes, it's been standing here for like last couple of months. A lot of months. This high got generated on Jan 22, and this high got generated in March 22. Okay, so it's like a year old highs. So what I think, price is so near to it and is expanding higher. Okay, on lower time frame is showing every sign to expand higher. So it's like a low hanging fruit to me. In today's price action, I want to see price clearing this level out on NASDAQ. Okay, we do have relative equal highs here. If price is expanding lower, what can be our last line of defense? Our last line of defense will be this breaker block to expect higher prices. Is it a breaker block? Yes. Lower low, new lower low, up close candle here. Okay, this is our breaker block, 15-minute breaker block. Price tapped into it, expanded higher. There was relative equal highs here every single time, folks. Okay, listen carefully. Every single time you see a breaker block, you will see relative equal highs or relative equal lows that you can target. So we had relative equal highs here. Price tapped into the breaker again, then price expanded higher, took relative equal highs here. Okay, now it's expanding higher too. So if it's doing that, it's okay, it's good. We are expecting higher prices when we look for a setup. But if it's expanding lower at 8:30 or suppose at 9:30, this breaker block is gonna be our last line of defense. If price is not respecting it, okay, the midway, if price is going below this midway, then it will attack this sell side liquidity, which I'm not expecting to see. I hope everything clear on NASDAQ. It's very simple. So I'm now gonna drop down to the lower time frame, and there's no setup that I see for 8:30. I'll just let the 8:30 macro play out, and then if there's any setup at 9:30, 9:20 to 9:30, and I'm expecting to see like 9:30 not presenting a setup. Why I'm not expecting to see 9:30 macro work out today? Because we have a high impact news at 10 o'clock. So whenever there's like a 10 o'clock news after the New York Open, then the New York Open is like most of the time becomes less volatile. Okay, and at 9:30 we expect high volatility, high volume to come in price. So that's what is very less likely we'll see today, high volume at 9:30. But the high volume, I'm expecting to see the high volume at 10 o'clock. So that's why I'm telling you that 9:30 macro will not work today. We had a BC here, price stepped into it, expanded higher. The OTE level will come somewhere here. There's no setup on NASDAQ that I see other than this swing low. I'm not gonna say this is a swing low, but suppose if price was going below here, then I would have liked watching this up close candle. It's a mitigation block right now. It's not a breaker. So if you want to take a trade, you can do it from this to up close candle. It will work as a mitigation block plus reclaimed order block. So if you're into NASDAQ, if you're trading NASDAQ, we are seeking higher prices. This is the target here. So, and if you're taking this trade, suppose price is tapping inside this reclaimed order block, I'm not gonna do that. You can put your stop loss in this fair value gap. If price is going below this fair value gap or hitting this fair value gap, it will work as an inversion. Okay, what do I mean by inversion? A price will seek lower prices if price is hitting this fair value gap, and as long as it's above this to up close candle, it's good. Price can easily go there. I'm not seeing any breaker block setup or any of my A plus setup here that I can take, but I do see reclaimed order block alongside with this fair value gap. Okay, this fair value gap is making these two reclaimed order block powerful, and we'll tape read this setup. Let's do that. So this is the order block, right? This is the fair value gap, and we are expecting to see a tap inside this order block and possibly inside this fair value gap. If price is doing that, I'll tape read it, and I'm expecting lower prices on the US30. Now the price cleared out this relative equal high. What did I told you guys? If price is clearing out this relative equal high, we can easily target this relative equal low. So at least I'm expecting to see price clearing out this relative equal lows. Okay, there is a lot of choppiness here, and price already showed like willingness to respect these order blocks that you can see here. And now I want to see all of these order block fail as we have strong level of liquidity down here. I'm not talking about dollar because I don't like dollar at all, to be honest. For last couple of weeks, I'm not looking at dollar. I'm totally trading without looking at dollar, and you can do that too. Dollar work as a barometer for us, as our mentor says. Okay, we are not trading it, rather we are taking that chart as a confirmation to trade in our own chart. And if that chart is not giving any confirmation, what's the point of using it? Is rather making me confused. When they move together, I don't have an edge when they are moving together. Okay, when they're moving opposite to each other, that's what they should do. Then I have an edge to call market on dollar. If I'm doing it right now, most likely I'll be fail. Dollar will do something opposite what I'm like telling you also. Here, as you can see on US30 and NASDAQ, I do have an edge. Yesterday, do you guys remember yesterday? I did like a 20-minute stream. And in that stream, I explained to you what bias I was expecting to see. It was bullish and price was bearish at the time when I was calling it on US30. I gave you two targets like the FOMC gap and the relative equal highs. Okay, I wanted to see price filling the FOMC gap. Price filled it and it expanded higher aggressively. Yesterday I didn't took any setup, even though I knew there's a bias, because market was one-sided, delivering continuously towards the buy side liquidity. When price does that, I'm a breaker block trader. Okay, I want to see price clearing out relative equal highs and lows. That's what I want to see, and that's what my breaker tells me to do. And yesterday there wasn't like any bearish breaker that I saw. All of the breaker that I saw, it was like price was providing short-term liquidity, then generating a bullish breaker, then like expanding higher. Throughout the whole session it expanded higher. So we'll see what price does today. So price is moving towards the buy side liquidity again. It's okay as long as price is inside this fair value gap right here. We do have a little fair value gap on 3-minute chart. Let's look at 5-minute. Yes, there's another fair value gap. This is not a breaker block. Okay, a lot of you mark these down close candles as a breaker block. Not every down close candle is a breaker block. It's a mitigation block. Why is it a mitigation block? What did this candle high did here? Did it make a new higher high? No, it just stopped there. So when price does that, it's a mitigation block. It's not a breaker block. In a breaker block, you want to see a clean stop hunt. Do you see it here? No. So this is gonna be our last line of defense to expect lower prices. It's a mitigation block, not a breaker block. If price is respecting it, it's okay. We have a fair value gap here, and we do have relative equal lows down here, and down here. So let's see what price does. If price is not respecting this last down close candle, which is not a breaker but a mitigation block, then price will hunt liquidity up here, and most possibly it will revisit the 0.75%, the upper quadrant of the 4-hour wick that I showed you guys. Okay, let's look at dollar. Let's see where it's going. Okay, dollar is going lower. Okay, now that it's going lower, dollar made a there was a swing high, new higher high, our breaker block here. Price is respecting this breaker block, and we can easily target this fair value gap here. Okay, so let's see if dollar is dropping, we can expect to see higher prices on indices. And this fair value gap, I want to see price revisiting this fair value gap, and after that we'll see like how price is reacting. As long as dollar is moving opposite to indices, it's okay. Okay, the indices will keep providing us a plus setup, or at least I'm hoping to see they are providing a plus setup, and that's what I'm expecting to see. This low, I want to see this low getting taken out, and then a drop inside this fair value gap on dollar. So we are getting inside of our first macro, and as you can see, price didn't respect this mitigation block here. This was our last line of defense to expect lower prices. Now let's see from where price can possibly reverse. Okay, now the price like didn't respect this mitigation block, which was visible clearly on 5-minute chart. Do you guys see it? What did I tell you? this fair value gap, I want to see price respecting getting rejected from this fair value gap. It didn't. Now price using the same fair value gap as an inversion to get support towards the buy side liquidity. So these two levels is gonna be our target right now. I'm not gonna be trading it. I'm not gonna drop down to 1 minute chart and see what setup price is providing me. Then it will take out this relative equal highs. No, if price is providing me any setup that will go lower, only then I'll take it. I'm not gonna push button unless these relative equal lows are getting taken out, or price is like, suppose price is further from these relative equal lows, only then I'll look for buy setup. Otherwise, as long as price is staying inside this dealing range from this high to this low, my target is here. Okay, what do I mean by target? Like, I want to see price providing a setup that will hunt this sell side liquidity. Aggressive rejection here. So here's our mitigation block, right? So let's see if price is rejecting from it or not. This is the high of it. This candle's wick went all the way up there, but look at the bodies. Candles bodies are staying inside this mitigation block. If you measure this mitigation block from all the way up there to down here, like the midway of this mitigation block will come somewhere here. So let's see if price want to reject from the midway. I want to see price going below this last up close candle here. That will work for me as a confirmation that we are bearish. As long as price is staying above this last up close candle, we are bullish, and price is very likely will hunt these relative equal highs here. And what do you see on NASDAQ? Do you guys see anything on NASDAQ? Yes, I told you that it's a reclaimed order block, not a breaker block. It's a mitigation block. And I drew this line here. Okay, and I told you if you are trading on NASDAQ, you can buy from here with a stop loss below here. Target 2R. Price will easily give you 2R. Okay, it's not my A plus setup, but it can be yours. And as I told you guys, that a tap inside this order block, if you rewind my stream, you will clearly see me giving you a signal. These two down close candle, mitigation block, not a breaker block. I will not see it as a breaker block because I don't see a clean swing low or any stop hunt or turtle soup, whatever you want to say. I don't see it. I rather see a failed stop hunt. So that makes this two up close candle as our order block. Okay, we do have a fair value gap, market structure shift with a fair value gap that makes it a strong market structure shift. If you don't know what market structure shift to trust, okay, then I'll give you a percentage, like 85% of the time you can trust a market structure shift that is coming with a fair value gap like this here. Okay, so whenever you see it, you can buy inside this fair value gap. You can put your stop loss below the fair value gap, and then you can target the nearest liquidity level. Okay, that's how you can do it. And if you drop down to the 1 minute chart, a lot of time price did provided an entry once price came down to here. Okay, this candle here, you waited at this candle. Look at the rejection towards buy side liquidity, support towards buy side liquidity from this reclaimed order block here. Price clearly used this down close up close candle as order block and went higher. So a lot of you can ask, like, who has retail mindset, why are you not taking this setup, HYDRA? You can clearly see that price is gonna use this as a reclaimed order block. It's not my A plus setup. My A plus setup is an inversion fair value gap, or suppose a breaker block. Very less of the time I take a trade with reclaimed order block. So I'm not just gonna take a trade once I see a setup, which I never took. which I very rarely I took. Okay, so I tape read this kind of setup, and if I suppose have like 70 to 60% of success in tape reading by using this setup, then only then I'll push the button in my live funds. Okay, I have certain rules that I follow. I'm not like a robot, so I get emotional sometimes, and these rules saves me a lot. Trust me, it's there to save me. So as you can see, a fair value gap with a market structure shift, that makes a market structure shift a strong market structure shift. Okay, you can buy from those market structure shift, you can trust those market structure shift, and then you can target the nearest level of liquidity, which is here. And US30, I think I won't be able to see any setup at our this macro 820 to 830. IOIFX is saying, by the way, we are bearish in Indices, so thinking about short is wrong for me. Yes, it might be wrong for you, but it's not for me. I'm not just a blind fucking trader, okay? I don't just look at dollar and dollar is like bearish, then I'm only gonna take a bullish setup on indices. No, I don't do that, because dollar sometimes move together with indices. Okay, whenever they do that, where's how you will push the button, what confirmation are you gonna use? So don't blindly follow dollar, rather look at your own chart, mark the liquidity levels, see where does it makes most sense based on the liquidity levels that for price to go. Not just by looking at dollar. Okay, dollar is bearish, so I'm bullish. No. Did I talk about dollar first? No. I talked about my own chart where I'm trading first. I outlined the liquidity levels where it was making sense for me to see price will go. Then I opened the dollar chart. Then I explained why is it relative with the dollar chart. Yes, it supports my analysis on my own chart. If dollar is not supporting what I see on my own chart, I'm just gonna avoid dollar. Okay, trust me, if you do that, dollar sometimes becomes very confusing. I don't know how people trade it, but I don't have an edge when they are moving together, as I told you guys. So that's why I don't care about dollar. I used to do that and I lost money when I was blindly following dollar. Rather, blindly follow your own chart. Okay, look at your own chart, mark the liquidity levels, imbalances, unfilled fair value gap, normal fair value gap, whatever you see. Then ask yourself, where does it most make sense for you from the chart, from the confirmation, from all the markups that you did, where price is gonna go. If you see it's bullish, okay, it's bullish, then look at dollar. Okay, see if dollar is supporting your analysis, if they are moving opposite to each other. Look at that. We know dollar is bearish, but is indices just moving towards the buy side aggressively? No. Okay, small little retracement like this can make me profitable. If this retracement is happening right now inside my macro, I can easily grab 2R inside this zone here. Okay, I don't need price to come all the way down here to make me profitable. Even down here, I'm not gonna target all the way down here. Even though I know price will seek this liquidity, I will only target 2R, and 2R is easy. It's the low hanging fruit. Okay, so if you are trading like 2R, then you should be looking at the liquidity levels, the imbalances on your own chart. So I'm gonna look at US30 completely, because I think US30 will drop, and on NASDAQ we can expect to see this level getting taken out. And do you guys see they're moving together? NASDAQ, US30, they were moving like opposite to each other for last couple of days, but now they're moving together. So let's see how price does it. Still don't see any setup. Price generated relative equal highs here on the buy side liquidity. This high, which is relatively equal, then this high, which is also relatively equal. So price in my eyes like provided liquidity aggressively towards the buy side liquidity, left these lows right here. Okay, so if price is not taking these levels out before the high impact news, at high impact news we can expect to see these levels are getting taken out. Okay, today I didn't came here with a mindset to make money. I explained the logic with you all. Why? Because yesterday it was a very big range day, and after a big range day we usually see price going into a seek and destroy profile, or consolidating inside a range like this, or delivering liquidity in high resistance. Okay, just like you see here. What do you see? Price coming all the way down here, not clearing out this level, rather consolidating inside this level here. What is this? It's a high resistance liquidity run. What is this here? Throughout the whole session, London session, Asian session, price is just consolidating inside a specific range. So I lowered my expectation today. If price is providing me a plus setup, I'll take it, and I'll mention to you guys that I see a plus setup, as I do. If I don't see anything, I'll just stay pretty and it will become boring. Yes, I know. So this is a small fair value gap here. If you guys have any question, you can ask me here on the chat. Dale is saying good point on the statement of dollar. Yes, thank you, Dale. Robin, your opinion on options, why most big traders in the ICT community don't trade them? Options trading, right? Because most of the ICT trader were retail before, and in retail industry, as you guys know, like most of us started our journey on indices, right? Very few retail start their journey on features, even on options. So it's something different. If you don't have like someone to guide you, very less of the time people start with options. And because of that, because most of us were retail trader before, and we were trading like US like suppose forex or US500, US30, we stick with it, right? I think that's the main reason. Me, I never looked into options, so I never even opened the option charts, never ever. So I don't have any idea how options behave. I heard ICT student trading there, but very few of them. Maria is saying US100 looks so much cleaner at the moment. Yes, it does look so much cleaner, and yes, it's expanding higher. It's in a low resistance liquidity run compared to US30. And I gave you guys a signal here. From here we are expecting to see price remaining bullish until price reaches here. Okay, if price is still showing willingness to go towards the buy side liquidity, this black line that you see is relative equal highs from the weekly chart. We can easily target that, but I'm expecting to see a rejection after price takes out this relative equal highs. Okay, I'm not expecting price to go all the way down here, but in a discount level, as we do see relative equal lows on US30 and as they're moving together. Yes, it's a very high probability that NQ may take out the weekly high. And I'm expecting it's not just a May that I'm gonna stuck with. I wanna see this level is getting taken out this week, this Friday. What? Someone is saying like, why are you this good, bro? It's crazy. Because I don't think about money when I come to trading. I just think of it like it's a game, and I have to follow certain rules to make money in this game. Money is not coming first. Rather, I want to see where in this game price is delivering liquidity. Okay, where price is making traps. And if you look at chart like this, if you get out of the mindset of making money, whenever you are thinking about money, bro, like it will be so hard for you to think clearly in this price action. Okay, so it's a very choppy price action. You will see setups everywhere. Okay, if you are thinking in a mindset with money, okay, I want to make money today. Rather, if you like come in a mind, if price is providing me a clean setup, I'll take it. Other than that, I'll just sit around. I'll just tape read, and it doesn't matter to me if price is providing any other setup rather than the A plus setup. I will not take it. Once you come in the marketplace with that mindset, it's an alpha mindset. Okay, you will discover a whole new trading world. One question please, concerning the breaker block. Does the breaker block have to occur with a fair value gap? Okay, if a breaker block is occurring with or coming with a fair value gap, it's a high probability breaker block. Okay, but it's not just the pattern. And as for your question, no, it does not require a fair value gap with a breaker for you to take that trade. Rather, it requires a clean narrative. I don't know why you guys specifically ask me always questions about a setup where I myself always talk about the narrative. I'm explaining the narrative here. Okay, setup is easy, bro. It's so easy. Trust me, it's easy. You will see setups everywhere. There was a setup here. There was a setup here. But if you don't know the narrative, you will push button here with the wrong setup, right? You will lose money. If you have a narrative, you do see relative equal highs here. That's the narrative. You are marking the liquidity levels. What do you see here? A lot of people, trust me, a lot of people sold here. But some of the people bought here, okay, with a clean narrative. So narrative is the first thing that you want to focus on. Now the setup is coming at the end. Narrative, time, then a plus setup, then you will execute. Like right here. Am I gonna execute if I see a breaker block right here? No, I think it's a SMT, right, folks? On US30 price cleared out this relative equal highs, but on NASDAQ price left it. Look at this. It's a clean SMT. So where can I see a clean setup? Now I'm gonna drop down to the 1 minute chart. Now that I got some confirmation like this SMT, it's just one confirmation. I need more confirmation to push a button, and I do see a breaker block here. Okay, so we are outside of our macro. I'm not gonna do that. I wasn't looking at the time, but I'm just gonna mark this breaker block here. Okay, like as per ICT says, this is gonna be our correct breaker block. But to be honest, folks, I've been trading with this kind of breaker block like for a long time. ICT recently revealed more about the breaker block, like right, like you should mark the lowest down close candle, which is here. But me, I have a lot of trades in my journal that I marked this breaker block, and then price respected it, just as I expect to see price reacting from this breaker block, or like any of my A plus breaker block. So from my experience, I'm gonna use my experience here. Let's see price rejects from this level. I'm not gonna push the button here as I do see relative equal highs here. I'm not trusting this SMT because of the liquidity levels. Rather, I wanna tape read this setup. There's a SMT here, okay, with these highs. I'm not gonna push the button even on demo. When you are tape reading, you cannot push the button on demo. That's not tape reading. Tape reading is you are not pushing the button, okay, rather you are just watching. So 2R, do you guys see how easy to get a 2R from a breaker block setup, right? I don't need to target all the way down here in this unfilled fair value gap for price to make me profitable. That's why whenever you guys like think about, okay, I'm bullish, I see dollar bearish, I'm gonna be like bullish throughout the whole session. Why? Price is not constantly delivering towards the buy side liquidity. It's retracing lower, it's going into discount, then moving higher, and in those small retracement you can make a lot of money. 2R is a lot of money. So that's a good rejection that I want to see from a breaker block happening. On US30, I don't see anything other than the SMT here. This setup can fail, okay? I'm not like, this is not my A plus setup because of the SMT here. I don't like this SMT. If price was like clearing out these relative equal highs, okay, and then dropping, I would have taken this trade on demo, not on my live funds, as we are outside of the macro. And after 8:35 till 9:20, I always tell you guys that's the time. That's like a dead zone. Yesterday, if you guys watched our mentor's yesterday's live stream, he mentioned about a dead zone, and the dead zone starts from like the 5 o'clock and it lasts till like 7 o'clock, right? In between that time, he told us like, don't trade, okay, don't push the button. The same thing from my eyes is happens in 8:35 till 9:20. That's the time I personally, I saw a setup here, okay? And suppose if I like took this setup, I'll take a partial here. And price is coming all the way down here. I'll take a partial here or below this low, maybe, but let's see. So I see 8:35 till 9:20 as a dead zone. Okay, I used to push the button in between that time and I lost most of the time. It doesn't matter if I see a clean setup now, but overall I lost most of the time. So if in a time period I'm losing most of the time, I'm not gonna push the button in my live funds. Rather, I'll just tape read. I'll push the button in my live funds when I do know that over time, this time frame, this time zone with this setup made me profitable. Okay, not this time. It's a dead zone for me. Look at US30 pushing higher, NASDAQ going lower. Let's look at dollar. Okay, a lot of dollar traders are here, so let's dollar is expanding higher. I think dollar is just going into the premium zone, then it will just drop. But I do have a 4-hour big fair value gap, so there are some levels that I'm watching. If price is not respecting this level, it will hit the 4-hour unfilled fair value gap that we have on premium. So if dollar is doing that, I'll mention. Otherwise, I'll just avoid looking at dollar. Do you guys see that? Like this rejection, this aggressive rejection here. Okay, I'm just gonna put my stop loss. Suppose I took this trade. Okay, I'm just gonna put my stop loss like this right now. I'll minimize the risk. Why am I putting my stop loss here? HYDRA, you do see a fair value gap here. Okay, then price can just easily go all the way up there, hit inside the fair value gap, and then it can drop, right? Then why not just put the stop loss like this above the swing high? No, to me it doesn't make sense. Why? I'm executing based on this order block. Okay, I'm not executing, like tape reading based on this order block. It's a breaker block. Okay, so also order block, you can mark it as a reclaimed order block, nothing wrong there. So this is a reclaimed order block. If you measure this breaker block or reclaimed order block, the midway of this breaker block will come somewhere here. Okay, if price is going above the midway of this breaker block, it will seek higher prices. Trust me, it will do that. Okay, that's the reason I put my stop loss here. Raja Boro, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. He's asking, bro, what's your favorite macro? 920 to 930. If I'm not getting it set up in like 920 to 930, then it's gonna be 950 to 1010. So these two are like my favorite setup. NQ took Tuesday's high. It doesn't matter what high is taking. If there's a relative equal high, it will take it. It doesn't matter if this high is like from 1 year old or like yesterday's high. What I look at the London highs, London lows, Asian high and Asian low. That's all. Okay, you'll never hear me mentioning about yesterday's high. Okay, it's good if I basically trade based on the liquidity levels. Wherever I see relative equal highs, I want to see price gravitating to that side. If I see relative equal lows, I'm gonna target that with other confirmation, not just like a relative equal high that I see. Okay, look at the choppy price action. Do you guys see it? It's a high resistance liquidity run, right? Do you guys see the logic behind me not pushing the button here? Look at this price action. Suppose you are here, push the button here, right, or anywhere here, it's just consolidating inside this range. Look at US30 here. So it's acceptable. Do you guys know why? Because of the high impact news that we have at 10 o'clock. I would have closed the trade right here. This push higher, I will not expect this push in a clean day. Okay, if price is in a low resistance liquidity run, I will not expect that from this level. Okay, I'm just gonna use the replay mode here. Once this candle dropped in a clean day in my A plus breaker block setup, I will expect to see price consecutively generating bearish candles. Okay, and aggressive price is moving aggressively towards the sell side liquidity. And if price is doing something like this, like consolidating whatever you're seeing right now, know that you should close your trade, because in a breaker block, if your breaker block is correct and if your narrative is correct, then a breaker block will support price aggressively. Not like this. Whenever you see choppiness, do back testing. Okay, do forward testing, whatever you can, do that. And whenever you see like price is consolidating after activating a breaker block like it did here, right, it should move aggressively towards your preferable direction. Not like this. Once you see it, know that it's a wrong trade. It's a wrong trade idea. You should close it with taking a small loss. Don't hope. Okay, in a breaker block, that's why I made breaker block my main model. Okay, I do take trades from the inversion, but I have an edge with this breaker block model. I know where price will move, how price will move. If price does something like this, okay, then I have this expectation. If price is doing something like this, then I know I will have to close the trade, just like it did here. I closed it early, right? And what do you see here? Price eventually hit by stop loss, even though I didn't took this trade. So this is something that comes with experience. Okay, when I say it, some of the folks they like get hurt, but this is the truth, bro. So I want to see this failed breaker block working as an inversion right now for price to provide support towards buy side liquidity. At 9:30, okay, or suppose at 9:50 to 10:10 macro, we can expect to see lower prices. Look at the liquidity levels that price generated. Relative equal lows here, okay, unfilled fair value gaps on lower time frame, relative equal lows here. So at least if price is not clearing these levels out, at least I want to see price tapping into the discount before pushing higher. I won't talk about a crypto macro software. I'll specifically put it for my mentorship people. So there is macro on crypto. I'm not touching crypto. Okay, so it's gonna be completely, I'm not gonna talk about crypto or anything, crypto macros. If I do see a setup on crypto, I'll come live and trade it. Other than that, I have no interest to share the macros on crypto. How do you build your narrative? Just like I did here. How do you get out of the money mindset? Well, how do I do that? Well, it not just like you will think you don't want to think about money and then you won't. It's not like that. You will consistently will have to like do tape reading. Okay, once you do tape reading a lot, that takes you out of the zone where your mind don't think about the money anymore. Okay, so tape reading it is. Do a lot of tape reading. Don't push the button. Okay, even on demo, don't do it. Just tape read. What do I mean by tape read? Suppose I saw a setup here. I'm trading on demo here in this trading view account. I could have just pushed the button here. It doesn't affect me, right? It's a demo money. No, it is affecting your mindset. The thing you are doing on your demo The same thing you will repeat on your live funds. Don't trust me. Everyone does that, okay? If someone is lying, like they only traded on demo and suddenly they became profitable on their live funds, they're fucking lying. They're a liar, okay? I faced it. The people who I knew, they faced it. If you are trading completely on demo, okay, if you're trading completely on demo, once you move to live funds, you will feel emotions coming back to you. Okay, what kind of emotions? Like impulsiveness, losing money, then becoming greedy. Okay, don't think like you can master trading on demo and then you once you go to your live funds you'll become profitable. No. Okay, we'll see. So the tip is like do a lot of tape reading. This helped me a lot to get out the mindset that thinks about money. Okay, that's a very good drop, right? I think this was like ICT 2022 mentorship, as we have a mentorship model, as we had a fair value gap here. Market structure shift, clean market structure shift here. Price came all the way up there, hit this fair value gap, now it's dropping down. Okay, I would have taken a partial here if suppose I was in this trade, a partial here, and eventually I'll put my target in this unfilled fair value gap. MQ chart is different from US100. It has already taken out the daily high from yesterday. Really, Thomas? Let's see. I'm not using the C-mini chart, but we will see. What was the code for NQM, right? It was NQEU for this month on features. Okay, I want to see if this weekly high got taken out. Okay, that's the problem on the features chart. It just don't show you the old price data. Anyway, let's look at the yesterday's highs. Yeah, in our own chart, price cleared it, right? Or it didn't. Yeah, price. Okay, in this chart, price didn't, but on the features chart, on the C-mini chart, price did took out this high. Really? So like a tick of difference makes sense, right? It is a difference. Like here I do see SMT, but on the features chart I don't see SMT. Price cleared out the relative equal high here, right? Anyway, as I don't have the subscription on this chart, it's just like the delayed chart. I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna keep using this one, and I will target this high here. Even though this high got taken out on the C-mini chart, but on my currency.com chart, which is gonna be getting expired after like June 17, we won't be able to use their data anymore. So let's see how price does it. Okay, here there's no SMT actually. It just like from my broker, in my broker it didn't took it, but on the C-mini chart it did took the high. It would have worked as an extra confirmation for me, but anyway, I was not taking this trade. It's outside of my macro. 835 till 920 I don't trade. Look at the choppiness here. Okay, that's what I avoid. In between this time, 835 till 920, price will become, if price is supposed delivering in low resistance liquidity run in like before the 835, then in it's very likely it's a high probability that in between that time 835 to 920 price will go inside a high resistance liquidity run, okay, or price will deliver liquidity like this. That's why I mark it as a dead zone, like no trading zone. In between this time price will just like consolidate, choppy, like this here. So So let's look at the chat window, what you guys are talking about. Safdar is saying, please do tape reading on crypto market 1 or 2 sessions a week, because many crypto traders do not understand the concept of how to sleep trade in crypto on a 5-minute chart or a 3-minute chart. Okay, you are not seeing me trading on crypto or anything. I'm not streaming because crypto is just consolidating. If once they're getting out of the consolidation zone and like I'm seeing a setup, I will do live stream. Okay, because crypto just goes in a long consolidation period like it's doing here. Okay, I can see clean setups here, but I want to see price delivering liquidity in low resistance liquidity run. Here is in a high resistance liquidity run, that's why I'm not trading. Price generated this dealing range, this high, this low, and it's just consolidating inside this range. So once price getting out of this range, I'm expecting to see it becoming a low resistance liquidity run, or it's going into the low resistance liquidity run. Once it does that, I'll look into the chart and then I'll take the trades. Not now, once they are like chopping around inside this dealing range. No, I'm not gonna trade. And so far it's just not looking good to me. It was consolidating here for the last couple of weeks, right, for a lot of days, and then it broke this consolidation, generated relative equal lows here. Anyway, I'm expecting drop on Ethereum, on Bitcoin basically, from like way up there. So once price reaches all the way to like 30,000 or like 30, yeah, 20, like 30 and 32, 32, in between that time period I'll trade. I'm expecting higher prices on crypto, and I'm expecting till like 32,000. Why? Because there's a weekly breaker. I guess it's a monthly breaker. Yeah, this is the breaker block here. Oh, at 34,000. Okay, so once price goes inside this week again, once price revisit this week, I'll do tape reading sessions, and that's the time like I'm expecting to see the like crypto going into the low resistance liquidity run. It's in a high resistance liquidity run, that's why I don't have an interest in it. So on NASDAQ, price hit our reclaimed order block again, and now it's expanding higher, and we do have relative equal highs here. On the mini chart there's no relative equal highs, but on the currency.com chart there's a relative equal highs, and price is expanding there. And eventually, so suppose price is not like, now the price provide a short-term liquidity at 920 to 930 macro. Suppose price didn't took this high, I can target this high at 920 to 930 macro. And price is providing me a clean setup. Otherwise I'll just continue to tape read. Yeah, I watched like the whole session, like the 6 hour without taking a break. I watched it whole. The ICT live stream from yesterday, yeah, I watched it. And on US30, I'm expecting to see a rejection from this level right here, 0.75% of the 4-hour week, candles week. If price is rejecting from here, we do have a consolidation phase here. We can target this phase. We can take a partial above here and eventually target the low here. And I want to see a breaker block forming here. So on 1-minute chart on US30, I'm expecting something like this. Okay, suppose price is hitting this fair value gap, then expanding higher, And once price does that, this down close candle here will become a breaker block. And once price goes below here, I can execute. So that's what I'm expecting to see, some kind of price signal like this. So lower low, new lower low, this up close candle becomes our breaker block, all of it. Price closed the candle's body above the breaker block. We have an inversion here. Price stepped into this inversion, and we are inside of a ICT macro 850 to 910. That's the ICT macro. So another setup that I see here that I can tape read. So this is this is the breaker block, lower low, new lower low. This low hit the discount PD array, this fair value gap here. So now let's see this, if price is respecting this order block, sorry, breaker block here or not. So price came all the way down inside this inversion, and now it's getting rejected from it. So now let's see if this inversion is holding and sending price towards the buy side liquidity. So this is what happening. We do have relative equal highs here. We can target that. So do you guys see the choppiness here? Even though I see a setup here that is respecting my analysis, I'm not willing to take it because of the choppiness, because of the time period. Okay, price is in a high resistance liquidity run. That's what I don't like to see from a breaker block setup. Once price closes the candle's body above the breaker block, I want to see small little retracement and then aggressive push up. Okay, that's what I like to see from my A plus setup, from my A plus breaker block setup. If price don't show something like this, and I know it won't, inside this times that I'm mentioning again, 8:35 till 9:20, and that's the time period you want to lower your expectations, okay, from the price action. It doesn't matter how good of a trader you are, you want to lower your expectation in between this time period. And trust me, price goes in a high resistance liquidity run. And I've been streaming for like 2 months now, and every single time I was streaming, I told you guys that a price is going inside this zone. We will not look for a setup, and every single time price did consolidate. Like in one stream, you only saw price providing a clean setup inside this live stream, inside this period, sorry, inside this time zone, 8:35 till 9:20. Otherwise, most of the time, if I give it a ratio like 80 to 85% of the time, price will consolidate, or it will be in a high resistance liquidity run. So you wanna avoid trading inside this time period, 8:35 till 9:20. Just avoid trading in between this time period. You can have a lot of chance to take a trade after this time period. We have 9:20 to 9:30 macro. If you don't see a setup, we have another macro. Then we have ICT silver bullet, right? A setup is continuously coming after this time period. So in like the whole trading session, this is the time period that I hate most. is the boring zone, 8:35 till 9:20. Suppose if I'm not live streaming, then I'll just be like playing games or something. So this is the volume imbalance right here. I want to see this volume imbalance getting failed. Okay, now the price dig inside this inversion a little bit deeper. If you measure this inversion, the midway or the consequent encroachment of this inversion will come somewhere here. Okay, and if price is respecting the midway, then I want to see this volume imbalance getting failed and price expanding higher using this volume imbalance as support towards buy side liquidity. So another trap that price is generating on US30. Look at that, price generated relative equal highs here. Now it's dropping. People will think it will sharply drop. Okay, but I'm expecting to see price coming all the way up, clearing this level out, hitting the upper quadrant of the 4-hour wick. Then I'll look for a setup. And now I'm expecting to see price getting support from somewhere here. There's a lot of order blocks here in this choppiness. So I think this is the up close candle. This is the highest up close candle, and I want to see price respecting it and then going higher from this to up close candle. Okay, once there's another question that you can ask me. Once you see, if you see like price consolidating like this, then how do you mark the order block inside this consolidation range? Because there's a lot of order blocks, right? How do you do it? I marked the highest up close candles as a order block, which is here, and I wanted to see price getting support from it. It's not. So now let's see how price delivers. Our breaker block failed. This inversion failed to hold price towards the buy side liquidity. So let's see if this fair value gap is supporting price or price is taking liquidity down here. We are not inside of our macro zone, that's why I'm not looking for a setup. I'll start looking for a setup at 9:20 to 9:30. And keep in mind we have a high impact news coming at 10 o'clock. Maria is saying, I loved his views on always taking a partial on the consequent encroachment of week, even if you have low targets in mind. Yeah, that's the same thing I do always. There's always a partial. A partial will pay you 100% of the time. You never know if price is gonna hit your TP, but you do know with a certain level you can give your setup there a certainty that it will at least give me a partial. And then you can move your stop loss to the break even, then you are risk free. You are at least getting a partial. Okay, but this thing doesn't work if you are like trading with a funded account, or not like I'm saying funded account, like, but the challenge accounts in phase 1 and phase 2. If you are starting to take partials, then it affects the risk to reward ratio a lot. So until you get funded, I think it's very hard to manage a trade by targeting 2R and then getting partial. If you're suppose if you're targeting 4R, then you can take a partial. But with 2R, just let the trade run. If you're taking 2R trades in your funded account. So look at this drop. Okay, I was expecting to see this drop after price hitting this upper quadrant, but it happened earlier outside of my macro zone. Inside of ICT macro, 850 to 910, there's a macro, ICT macro. So I would have marked these candles as a breaker block if I was trading inside this macro, but I won't. And there, price didn't give a chance to enter, to be honest. Price closed the candle's body below this breaker block. Higher high, new higher high. Then it just moved lower aggressively, no chance of entry. So let's keep tape reading. And NASDAQ, they both are moving towards the sell side, liquidity, and dollar moving towards the buy side. They're moving opposite to each other. So now the price left these really equal highs on NASDAQ. I think I can target it at 920 to 930 macro. And for me to target it, I want to see price rejecting from this fair value gap here. If price shows any willingness to reject from this fair value gap, I can easily target these relative equal highs or this high. And it's just dropping aggressively. So when price does something like this and you were expecting this drop, okay, I was expecting this drop happening, but not now. But price did it early. When price does that, just like don't get sad. Okay, this is a feeling that you will feel. Okay, you cannot lie to me. I felt it, so I know everyone feels it. Once price does something that you were expecting, it does earlier, then you just like make your expectation lower. No, don't do that. Price didn't give me a chance to enter here or any setup here, but we still have our own macros left, right? We have our 950 macro, we have our like silver bullet, we have our 1050 to 1110 macro. So there's a lot of chance that price can give me to execute, and it's good to see that price respected my narrative at a level, but I wasn't expecting to see this drop happening now, rather at 920 to 930 in between that period. But look at this drop. Wow, I wanted to take a setup inside this drop, but anyway, price didn't give me a chance to enter. So now let's see if price is taking out this relative equal lows here. We do have relative equal lows, clean levels below here on US30 right here. So do you guys see now how clean levels attracts price? Look at this. Look at this drop. It's a beautiful drop, and it's coming towards this relative equal lows here. There's no news right now, right? That causing this drop. I think there's no news. Yeah, we only have like high impact news at 10 o'clock. Other than that, there's no news. Yeah, on the features chart, the C-mini chart, price cleared out the relative equal highs here. It's a delayed chart, so price is right now here, somewhere here. So now I want to see like from where price can reverse, or is it gonna still like continue to seek lower prices? That's what I'm gonna look for. So this push towards the buy side, this aggressive push, I don't trust it. When price does that, most of the time I saw like price going below the move, below the low that caused the push higher. So price can drop from somewhere here. Now let's see from where can it drop. We have a small little fair value gap here on US30, then we can use as an inversion. We do have relative equal lows right here. Hourly chart, there's nothing on hourly chart. So now let's wait on US30 to see price reach. If price is still consolidating inside this range when we are inside of our macro, we'll look for a setup here. And as you can see, price hit the inversion from the 50-minute chart beautifully. And let's see if it drops or not. And we got our breaker block right here on US30. So this is the lowest down close candle. Let's see if price is tapping inside of it, inside of our macro range. I'm waiting for the time to get matched. I'm not gonna take this trade in my live funds as we have a 10 o'clock high impact news. Rather, I'll push the button in demo. I wanna see if price respect my trade idea or not. So the trade idea will be something like this. And target 2R from here. I think a revisit of this low is possible. So most possibly like this level right here. I want to see price tapping into this BC again, but let's see if price gives us an entry by tapping inside this breaker block again. Inside of our macro zone, if price is not respecting this breaker block inside of our macro, then it can easily go all the way up there, clear out the relative equal highs here. So price is not respecting this breaker block, right? Rather it pushed higher. So yeah, I don't see any trade idea right now here. I was waiting for price to reach here like inside 920 period, and then like not this aggressively, So this is a fair value gap here. Do you guys see it? It's a small little fair value gap. Now if price wanna expand higher, it will use this fair value gap to go higher, push higher. But if price is not respecting this fair value gap, we can still use this fair value gap as inversion to short. Okay, so I'm watching this inversion, this this little fair value gap here. So do you guys see how price is delivering price? I wanted to see this fair value gap getting failed, but it didn't. Price used this fair value gap to seek higher prices. So I'm not gonna look for any new short setup. Rather, I wanna see how price delivers towards the buy side liquidity, and this is gonna be a target. And eventually, I wanna see price tapping inside this upper quadrant of 4-hour wick. And price did clear this level out, so our next target is gonna be this black line here, which is the weekly equal highs. So do you guys see what price did here? Price came all the way down here, it didn't clear out this low here, rather generated a relative equal low, and then it expanded higher. That's where I don't have an edge, okay folks, and I don't feel anything by expecting that, accepting that. I want to see price clearing these levels out, and only after that I execute. I don't want to see price generating relative equal lows or SMT. Okay, I don't take trades based on SMT, rather I do take trades by targeting relative equal highs or lows. And once price like clears these levels out, then I get like a clear confirmation from price like where it wanna go. Yes, context from weekly is bullish, and I explained why I'm seeking higher prices, why I'm expecting higher prices, because of this relative equal highs from the weekly chart. So our higher time frame order flow is bullish, and we are inside of our macro right now. So as I told you guys that if price is not respecting this fair value gap, we will see lower prices. If price is respecting this fair value gap, it will hunt this buy side liquidity here, and it did beautifully from this fair value gap, even though there wasn't any setup that I could have taken other than the inversion setups that I see, but it doesn't match my time. Price is delivering outside of my time today. Like this drop happened before the macro, when my macro started, and this reversal happened before my macro started. So now the price hit the 0.75 level, the upper quadrant. I want to see price reject. If not, then I'll go all the way up to the 4-hour chart, and I'll mark the high here. This is our buy side liquidity all the way up here. So now let's see if price shows any willingness to reject from the buy side after taking out this buy side liquidity. I'm still waiting. I'm tapering this price action here, and what I think, like, we will see a setup that we can take inside the silver bullet, right at 950 to 1010 macro. It's the high impact news, so I'm not gonna be trading it. So buy side liquidity got taken out here. Our relative equal highs from the weekly chart is here. So now let's see how price reacts after taking out this relative equal highs. So price didn't took it and it's dropping. Really? Okay, so our nearest liquidity, the nearest fair value gap is here. On 1 minute chart is here. So now let's see if price gets support from this fair value gap and eventually takes out the relative equal high that is here. I want to see a breaker block forming here. Okay, this is a higher time frame PD area. This relative equal highs here. This is a higher time frame PD area. I want to see a breaker block forming here. This down close candle. I want to take this trade. I want to take a trade based on this down close candle. So let's see. There's no down close candle here, so but price did took out the buy side liquidity here. So if this fair value gap is failing to provide support towards the buy side liquidity, then I'll watch this fair value gap, and I want to see this fair value gap work as an inversion. Okay, I want to see this fair value gap failing, and then price hitting this fair value gap. Once it does that, I'll be able to take a trade targeting sell side liquidity, but price will have to reject from this fair value gap first. Look at the candle's body on NASDAQ. In this fair value gap, I told you guys that if NASDAQ want to deliver towards the buy side liquidity and clear out the relative equal high, it will do so from this fair value gap. Why didn't I mark this fair value gap here? Because this is the nearest fair value gap. Okay, if you do a lot of back testing, you will see like once price is near to a liquidity level, like a strong liquidity level that you are expecting to see price clearing out, it will just price will just go near to a fair value gap and then it will expand higher. It happens all the time. That's how price delivers. So that's why I told you guys on US30 I want to see this fair value gap getting failed, otherwise I'm not taking any trades. So if this fair value gap is getting failed, then this fair value gap is what I'm gonna use as inversion. But as you can see, this fair value gap is providing support for price towards the buy side liquidity. So we have a breaker now here with a clean swing. Now I'm not gonna push the button, but now I wanna see price going below this breaker, and then I'll push the button on demo, not on my live funds. US30 is looking good too. This fair value gap I wanted to use it as an inversion. Now I'll wait for this candle to close and the next candle to open, and I wanna see the next candle using this fair value gap as a support towards the sell side liquidity. Inversion, and our breaker block is here. Higher high, new higher high. They cleared out the relative equal highs and hit the premium PD area, so it's matching with our rule. PRA, KR breaker. So let's see which one provides us a setup, NASDAQ or US30. So price hit our inversion. I want to see price rejecting now, and target is gonna be 2R. This level, I'm not gonna take this trade. Why? Because we have a high impact news, folks. Okay, I'm not pushing the button until the high impact news. Rather, I'm gonna taper it like this. The setups that I see. So this is the inversion setup that I see, and I want to see price remaining heavy towards the sell side liquidity now. And Yeah, it went higher and hit my stop loss. Anyway, look at the movement here. So this is why I avoid trading before the high impact news. Price does stuff like this. It just expanding higher. Okay, seeking higher time frame premium liquidity. Now if it rejects from here, we do have a breaker block here. On NASDAQ, price activated this breaker. There's a monthly fair value gap. Let's see on NQ, there's a monthly fair value gap. Really? Monthly fair value gap. Which one? Price already hit the monthly fair value gap by clearing out the relative equal highs here. Now price has relative equal lows, which I want to see price clearing it out before expanding higher. Okay, I'm not saying like I don't want to see price expanding higher. Rather, I'm expecting to see an expansion higher. But after price at least hits a discount level, yeah, this price action is not tradable in my eyes. It just like in a high volatility, right? Suppose I'm pushing my stop loss here. Price is easily coming up all the way up and hitting my stop loss and going down. And now they're moving opposite to each other. So US30 is moving with dollar and NQ is moving opposite to dollar. Yeah, so I think I made a good decision by not like feeling to take any trades today. Rather tape read. Do you guys see there's no entries that I could have taken here? In this breaker block, this price, this aggressive run towards the sell side, that's what I expect to see from a breaker, but not this aggressive that it doesn't give me an entry. So I'll keep continuing to tape read until the news releases. After the news release, we'll be able to look for, I think we can see clean setups after the news. And it was like outside of my expectation. In the breaker block that I want to see price respecting inside my 920 to 930 macro is that the price action that I expect is something like this at 920. Like suppose at 928, 926 or 925. After 925, I want to see price closing a candle body below the breaker, and then like suppose before 930, price retracing back to the breaker, small retracement, hitting the breaker in 930, dropping sharply towards the sell side liquidity. That's like my A plus setup. But here there's no chance of entry. Suppose if I'm entering here, okay, a lot of retail ICT trader, they will say me, okay, HYDRA, why aren't you pushing the button here? Okay, now that you know price will seek lower prices, we have relative equal lows down here that goes with our model. But if I'm executing here, where am I gonna put my stop loss? Just tell me that. It's gonna be a lot of risk. Suppose I'm entering here, right? My stop loss, am I gonna put it like this? If I'm putting it like this, then what I'm gonna target, this is the low hanging fruit here, 2R. There's gonna be a lot of risk. And US30 is chopping again. So today is fun to tape read, but not fun to take executions. Each and every one of these candles is generating emotion inside every one of the retail traders. Okay, whenever you feel like these candles are generating emotions inside you, just don't trade it. Do you feel sad that you are not making money? Yeah, I can understand you feel that, but tell yourself also that like these setups keeps repeating all the time. Today you are not seeing this setup giving you a chance to enter, but tomorrow you will find the entry. The day after that you will find the entry. No setup like will continuously give you an entry, a chance of enter. just like it did here. We do see a breaker block that cleared out our premium PD array, right? This relative equal highs that I was targeting, I was preaching about, price hit it, breaker block here. And when this candle got generated, I told you guys that this candle, I want to see it work as a breaker block. It did here, but it didn't give me a chance to enter. But how did I got benefited? I made experience from this trade here, and I have a lot of experience like this. That's why I know that I should not push the button today. So this breaker block failed. Price didn't even close any candle body below this breaker. So I want to see price hitting this BC. Yes, Richie, your chart is gonna be a couple of seconds ahead of mine because I'm live streaming and you are seeing my chart after like 1 minute, I guess. And that's the lowest I can go to stream that they were allowing me. That's the lowest I can go. Safdar is saying, bro, can you explain low and high resistance liquidity run? This right here that you see, this drop from this candle's high to this candle's low, it's a low resistance liquidity run, okay? And whatever you are seeing right here, this consolidation is a high resistance liquidity run. What do I mean by that? Like, we know price wanna seek lower liquidity or sell side liquidity, but price is not hitting our target like this fair value gap. I want to see price stepping inside this fair value gap, and it's so near to it, but it's not doing it. This is what it's called like high resistance liquidity run. When you see a target and you expect to see price hitting this target, but price is just not doing it, just coming near to the level, then it's just consolidating, moving towards the buy side liquidity, then it's coming near to it again. It's not hitting it, then it's moving opposite side. Okay, once price is doing that, when price is doing that, no, that is a high resistance liquidity run. And when price drops like this, a sharp drop, that's what you want to expect. Right here, this move towards the buy side liquidity, this was a low resistance liquidity run without price getting choppy. So price on NASDAQ hit our hourly fair value gap, and we have a low here on 50-minute chart, which is a 50-minute breaker block. This is a plus breaker block. This is gonna be the last line of defense for us to expect higher prices. As I told you guys when I started my stream, if price is anytime coming near to this breaker block, why is it a breaker block? Yes, lower low, new lower low, up close candle, that makes it a breaker block. Price already respected it. Now price can come all the way down, clear out the low right here, but I'm not expecting to see price going below the midway of this breaker. If price is doing that, we are really very bearish, and price will hit this buy side imbalances and inefficiency from 4-hour chart. So we have another breaker here on 3-minute chart. Okay, we had a breaker here on 1-minute chart. This down close candle on 1-minute chart working as a breaker. We have a breaker here on 3-minute chart. This last down close candle. Okay, it's a higher time frame breaker block. Price came all the way up here in this candle. Look at the retracement. That's what you wanna see from a breaker block, okay? Like, you wanna see small little retracement like this. Not like price following a pattern, because pattern says something like this. Okay, price should go all the way down, then a retracement like this. No, you don't want to see retracement like this. Rather, price closes the candle's body below the breaker, then a small little retracement like this. Or suppose here, or like this. Okay, price closed the candle's body below the breaker here. That's a higher time frame, 3-minute time frame breaker block. Price closed the candle's body below. Look at this candle here. Where did it open? It opened here, went up, then it dropped sharp. Okay, when price is hitting this fair value gap again at the next, sorry, the breaker block again at the next candle, that's where you want to execute. And a lot of you can see, oh, HYDRA, you can talk about it now, it's on a hindsight. Yeah, I know it's on a hindsight, but price is not matching the time and my expectation the way I want to see. Okay, so that's why I'm not pushing the button here, rather I'm just tape reading. Seems like price is delivering before our macro today, right? Every delivery that happened here is before our macro started. So US500, wow, US500 showed a good reaction in this breaker block. Lowest down close candle here. This is our breaker block, extended out on time. On ES, price actually retraced back to the breaker block and then moved to lower, right? So on ES, price provided a setup. Three-minute breaker clearly hit the low here, our 50-minute low. Sorry, 50-minute breaker block. Price hit the breaker block here, generated a relative equal low right here. And if price is not clearing out this relative equal low before the high impact news, we can expect to see at the high impact news price clearing this level out, as it's a relative equal low. So this is a aggressive retracement. Whenever price does something like this, I don't trust it. Trust it. Okay, so if price is closing its body above here in a bullish candle, I'm expecting to see price revisiting this area here. Someone is asking, what do I think about the 5-minute breaker block on NASDAQ? Okay, there's a breaker block on 5-minute. This right here, I will not mark it as a breaker block, rather these down close candles as a breaker block, because these are the lowest one here. And anyway, it's not a zone where we should be thinking about taking trades, or I should be thinking about taking trades, because I personally only execute inside the macro levels or near to the macro levels when the macro zone gets started. And if price is matching my expectation, like after closing a candle's body below the breaker, then hitting the breaker like just by a tap, just by a couple of ticks, then I will execute. But price didn't did it here, didn't match my execution expectation, so I'm just tape reading. So price took the 50-minute low. This is the low, this blue line that you guys see here, this is the low here. Price cleared it out, and at the same time price hit our 50-minute bullish breaker block. And as I told you guys, I'm not expecting to see it going below the midway, and if it's doing that as it's doing here, it will seek lower prices. Wow, this drop was really aggressive, right? Look at this drop, and there's no news. It's just the 9:30 opening. At the 9:30 opening, price dropped lower sharply. I literally have no expectation right now other than just watching how price is delivering liquidity. I was expecting this drop, but with a setup, okay, but price didn't give me a setup, so I'm just gonna taper it. And I want to see price hitting this BC right here from the 4-hour chart. We do have a lot of relative equal lows right here. So even in this choppiness on US30, price respected this breaker block. Okay, I know it's hard to see here in this choppiness, but this is the last down close candle, last lowest down close candle that has a clean swing high, which has like candles right next to it which are lower, so that makes it a clean swing high. Then price generated higher highs. Avoid the choppiness here. This candle becomes our breaker block. Extended out on time. Price came all the way up, hit this breaker block, and now it's dropping, but in a high resistance liquidity run. So this level, if price is like continuously dropping, and at 10 o'clock I want to see these levels are getting taken out. That's a very clean level. Okay, evolving trader is saying NAS 100 15180 might cause a resistance zone to continue lower. I'm expecting to see bullish price action from here, from this level, from this BC 4-hour BC. We have a sell side liquidity, major level of sell side liquidity down here. Okay, if price is clearing this level out, then I want to see a reversal that will hit the discount level. But until then, I'm just gonna wait to see the news getting released. We do have a relative equal low on US30, so I want to see at news price clearing this level out. I'm watching it. Jemmy is saying think price could hit equal lows at 14,679 on US100. 14,769. There's relative equal lows. Let's see on the higher time frame. Which lows? We do have sell side liquidity right here, and this is a 4-hour BC. The level you are mentioning is 14,769. 14,769. Today, all the way down here, I don't think so. This relative equal lows, yes, I want to see price clearing out this relative equal lows, but it's not gonna happen today. That's a lot of volume that price need to come all the way down here, and there's no CPI news, there's no FOMC, there's no NFP today, so it's just a consumer release, which is not that volatile like CPI or NFP. So I'm not expecting to see price clearing out this relative equal lows today. Rather in future, yes, I'm expecting to see this level getting taken out, but not today. Price will just deliver inside this dealing range. It will not get out of it. This dealing range, this high, this low, price cleared out this high, so our new swing high is here. Okay, and I'm expecting to see this swing low is getting taken out, and most possibly I think there's a fair value gap on lower time frame. Yeah, if price is coming all the way down, I'm expecting to see price hitting this fair value gap. So any retracement towards the buy side liquidity right now is gonna be for price just to go to the discount level, just to go to the premium level before going lower. Okay, so don't trust the retracement that will happen right now. We are getting close to the news release. Price will manipulate right now. It will hit the discount level, sorry, the premium level if it's doing so, and then it will drop sharply. So I'm expecting to see lower prices, and I want to see price clearing out this sell side liquidity. That's our nearest target. Any retracement higher right now, folks, is gonna be for price to hit just the premium PDRA and then going lower. Okay, so on 3-minute chart we have this small little fair value gap. So let's see, price is rejecting from this level, this fair value gap here. On 5-minute chart, this is a big fair value gap. Okay, so I'm not expecting to see in this price action, okay, from this stealing range, from this high to this low, I'm not expecting to see price coming all the way up in the premium level, hitting it, then going down. Okay, we do have relative equal lows right here. So I want to see at 10 o'clock price clearing these levels out. And if I measure this level, our optimal trade entry level comes here. Okay, our premium level is here, which is a BPR. But I'm not expecting to see price coming all the way up here. As I told you guys, okay, when you see price is near to a liquidity level, to take it out, this is the nearest that it can go. This is so near, and we can see that this is the level that price wanna take out. Then mark the nearest liquidity level, okay, nearest fair value gap, and expect to see price rejecting from this fair value gap. Okay, once price is near to the nearest liquidity level, don't expect to see like price coming all the way up and hitting the premium and then sharply dropping. It will just tap inside the nearest fair value gap and then it will drop. Okay, that's what I saw mostly happening, just as it happened here. Look at the fair value gap here. This is the nearest fair value gap. Price tapped into it, cleared out the buy side liquidity, then it dropped. So now let's see if price is dropping from this fair value gap. We do have this target, this level target, and eventually I want to see price stepping inside this 4-hour fair value gap. And as you can see, as I told you, price showed willingness to reject from this fair value gap. Okay, and I explained to you why I was expecting to see price rejecting from this specific fair value gap. Why not from this one? Why not from this BPR, HYDRA? Because you always say BPR is a gigantic pool of liquidity. Why price is not coming all the way up here? I already answered it. When price has clean levels like this and is so near to take out this relative equal lows or whatever, like suppose there's an order block that price wanna hit and it's just not doing it. Okay, and then it generated a small little fair value gap like it did here. Expect to see price getting orders and rejecting from the nearest fair value gap, just like it did here. I showed you guys another example right here. Okay, from the live price section, you can rewind my stream and go somewhere back here if you just joined now, and you will see me talking about a fair value gap right here and mentioning that price will seek higher liquidity from the nearest fair value gap, just like it did here. To mark the sell side and buy side liquidity, I mostly use the wick. So on lower time frame, on higher time frame, like on 5-minute chart, this was just a fair value gap, right? But on lower time frame, there was order block, consecutive order blocks here, price hit the order block, bearish order block, then it got rejected. Okay, but the bodies of the candle is staying inside this 1 minute fair value gap. Yes, you can take a whole lot of setup just by following like price like this. Okay, that's something like you should know if you are an ICT trader. Like once price is near to a liquidity level that you are expecting to see price clearing out, and it's not, and it has a fair value gap, small little fair value gap near to it, then expect to see price tapping inside the fair value gap, then dropping sharply, just like it did here. On another example that I can show you guys it's on US30. Do you guys see a fair value gap here in this price action? We are expecting lower prices. We are expecting to see price going all the way down here, right? So is there any fair value gap that we can watch? Yes, there's a fair value gap right here. Also, there's an inversion here. So this is a small little fair value gap, and what do you see? So the reason behind me marking this inversion is because this inversion is gonna be the last line of defense for us to expect lower prices. If price is not respecting this inversion, that it will just go to the premium level based on the measurement of this dealing range from this high to this low. If price is going above this inversion, okay, what do I mean by the last line of defense? By meaning that I'm saying like if price is going above it, it will hit the the premium PD area, or it will go to the premium zone. Okay, as long as price tapping inside the nearest fair value gap and then like showing willingness to reject, showing signs to reject, we can expect to see price clearing out these relative equal lows that is resting here. Right, I want to see NASDAQ tapping inside this buy side liquidity. Until then, I'm not doing anything. This is what I'm expecting to see. So this right here on US30, see how price delivers. Okay, we are expecting to see price clearing out these relative equal lows. We have a small little fair value gap. The nearest fair value gap is here. So now let's see if price respect it or this inversion right here. I'm not expecting US30 to go above this inversion. I want to see price rejecting from it. And we have 2 minutes left before price for the news release. Well, millionaire Ryan is saying, have you tried Hopi's GB levels? What's that? I never even heard about it. Millionaire Ryan. What's that, bro? Can you please explain a little bit? Okay, and here comes another guy asking, what is an inversion? An inversion is a failed fair value gap. To simply put it that way, it's a failed fair value gap. And if you are still confused about like what is inversion, I made a video about inversion in my YouTube channel. So if you go into the video section, you will see a video named after inversion. Just watch it, you will understand what I'm talking about. So here was another example, right? When price is near to a liquidity level and we're expecting price to take it out, and price is just reversing, right? Mark the nearest fair value gap and expect to see price reversing from there. Look at this here. You could have taken this setup, right? You could have taken this setup and target this here. It's a 5 handle run. Look at this gap. On NASDAQ on 1 minute chart, there's a breaker block. Lower low, new lower low that cleared out the relative equal lows that was resting here. So this up close candle becomes our breaker block. Right, so let's see how price uses this breaker block to get support towards the buy side liquidity. So as I told you guys, if price is going above this inversion, it will hit the premium level based on the measurement of this stealing range. So I want to see higher prices from this level here. Price hit this breaker block. Right, we do have a small little gap here. I'm not trading this setup, so don't just push the button based on what I'm saying. I'm just tape reading this setup. I do see a breaker block, and there goes with my setup. Lower low, new lower low that cleared out the relative equal lows that was resting here. So he hit the discount PD area. So if I'm taking this setup, where can I take partial? So this is a level that I'll mark as like taking a partial. To take a partial, this is a BPR. BPR, where can we take a partial? Yeah, we can take a partial inside this BPR, and we can target like 2-3R right from this breaker block. I'm not talking about a setup that we can take. I'm just tape reading, folks. Okay, we'll look for setup, but not right now. Price just delivered the news, so let's just give it some time. So the setup that I want to see is something like this. We can target this PPR 2R from here, and the stop loss would have been here, right here, but I think it will not respect this breaker block, right? Well, at least that's not this kind of rejection or like a price section that I don't want to see from a breaker block. I want to see price closing a candle body above the breaker block, tapping into the breaker block, and then moving towards the sell side, buy side liquidity aggressively. So these whole up close candles are gonna be our breaker block. There's a small little failed fair value gap, and okay, so to keep watching this breaker block, I want to see price getting support from it. It's not a setup that I will take. It's inside of our macro, but price just delivered the news release, so I prefer to just watch it. So you guys know the whole trade idea is something like this. Stop loss below the swing low, that's where I will put it, which is gonna be in the breaker block right here, and we can target easily like 2R from here, right? Odd question, please give the name of the background music you played last week. Which background music? Okay, okay, so I got a copyright strike on that. Whatever background music I use, it names like copyright free whenever I download, and once I use it, they just do the copyright thing. Okay, and I got like 3 copyright strikes so far. So that background music was something like ADHD relief music. So that's a very good chance the price is giving me to enter. Okay, this little retracement that you see here, that's what I expect to see from the price action, but I'm not gonna take it. It's not my A plus setup. Look at the choppiness here, a lot of choppiness. That's what I don't like to see. I do see a breaker block, but it doesn't mean I should push the button. Rather, I'm willing to tape read, and I'm willing to target this BPR. and I want to see if price is hitting this BPR or not. Okay, if you just don't use the breaker block, then you can, if you are using like ICT 2022 mentorship, it's easier that way. A higher high here, so a market structure shift happened here. So we are now expecting to see price hitting the premium level that it did here, and then moving towards the buy side liquidity that we can expect to see from here now. So price is looking good. Let's see if I might gonna take this setup. Okay, on demo, I'm not saying on my live funds, but on demo, I wanna see like how this price action goes. Stop loss gonna be below here. TP is gonna be right here. Why is not showing my orders? Okay, now it's good. So let's see how price does react. Okay, so did you guys see it? This retracement here, that's what I don't like to see in price action. After it like activates a breaker block. So my stop loss is in a safe place below the swing low. Price did another stop hunt here. If it's not moving right now, it won't move after that. It will just seek lower price action. This is a swing low, right? Price came all the way down here, cleared out the swing low. So I want to see a immediate rejection towards the buy side liquidity. Now the price offered sell side liquidity again. But in my A plus breaker block setup, okay, I'll make a video about that. I'm like 80% done making this video. So the video is gonna be about like my A plus trading setup. So in my A plus trading setup, in my A plus breaker block setup, I don't want to see this kind of rejection or this kind of price action once price activates a breaker block. Once price does that, okay, once price activates a breaker block, I want to see price moving aggressively towards the buy side liquidity, which is not happening here. At this candle, I would have closed this trade in my live funds, but I will hold. I'll hold and I will see, like, I want to see how price reacts. There's no way I'll push this push button in my live funds in this price action scenario. Look at that, it's generating a lot of emotion, folks. Every retracement that you see, it will make traders to go like, okay, doubt their setup. Like they will think, okay, it's gonna hit my stop loss right now. Then this movement is happening towards the buy side liquidity. It will hit my TP. So whenever price does something like this, I avoid pushing the button in my live funds. Trust me, I did it. I pushed the button and I lost a lot of trades. I even blew my accounts. So I believe that my setup will keep repeating every single day throughout my whole like living life. Until I die, I'll see this setup keeping repeating. Okay, so why just worry about it? That if this setup is gonna be working out or not. If it's working out, then it's good. It's gonna be good for my experience. But I prefer to avoid this kind of setup in this kind of time frame. Use NCS music. What is NCS music? So there's no partial in this trade. I want to see straightly price hitting this BPR if it's doing that. Yeah, I will not take any partial. Once price moves like the halfway, I'll move my stop loss. I'll do it right now. I'll move it below this swing low right here. I don't want to see price revisiting this breaker block again. I want to see it remaining aggressive towards the buy side liquidity. If it's coming all the way down and hitting or going below this candle's low, okay, it's gonna take the relative equal lows that it generated here. Okay, so I don't want to see price revisiting this breaker block again. I want to see price remaining aggressive towards the buy side liquidity, which is not happening right now. It's in a high resistance liquidity run. And on US30, do you guys remember me saying about this inversion? Talking about this inversion. That's how you know like how price will react. Okay, in this inversion I told you guys that I want to see price rejecting from this inversion, okay, towards the sell side liquidity, but it didn't. At the same time, I also told you if price is closing a candle body above this inversion, that means this inversion failed to provide support for price towards the sell side liquidity. What it will do after that, it will just hit the premium level. What it did right now. If you don't trust me, rewind my stream and it's there. I told you that it will hit the premium PDRA, which is the premium level, and it did here. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. You know, like I don't understood that. Like I see people uploading these videos like saying you will not get copyright strike, and even on the comment section I'm saying like seeing like people use this background music in their stream and they didn't got a copyright strike. But when I used it, I used three different background music from three different like YouTubers who were saying like you won't get a copyright strike, but I got it every single time. They're lying, okay folks? And how the copyright strike happens, suppose if I'm using this music, a background music, and someone gave me a copyright strike, I will not make any money from that stream. All the money that I will make, it will be in that person's account who has the background music. So that's how it happens, okay? So for like 3-4 live stream, I didn't make any money, even though it's like, okay, so I'm gonna disclose how much I make from each live stream. It's like $5, $10, max is like $10, which is nothing. Okay, so not that I'm caring about it, but it's not good for my channel if I'm getting like a lot of copyright strike. So here, now that price moved in my favor, I'll just put my stop loss in my entry like this. I don't want to see any retracement right now, which is gonna be coming right here. I want to see aggressively price moving towards the buy side liquidity. I would have taken a partial here. Why? Because there's a fair value gap right here. Okay, I'm expecting to see price hitting this PPR, but this is a fair value gap, and now the price made this relative equal highs. I want to see price clearing this relative equal highs right now. If it's hitting my stop loss right now, just know that it was a trade that I would have never taken in my life funds, and I didn't. There's no like, if it's hitting my stop loss, it's good. It's just a tape reading session. Pedro Santorio is saying Millionaire Ryan is worth the Hopi Lacus book. Is him ICT student? I don't know what book he's talking about, but as you can see here, right, price activated our breaker block and then it moved towards the buy side liquidity. Then it aggressively, without even hitting the BPR, dropped down. Now, do you guys know why I didn't took this setup in my live funds? Yes, I can distinguish between trades, like which one will hit my TP or at least give me a partial and which one won't. And this one was one kind of setup that I will not take in my live funds, because look at the price action here. It was in a high resistance liquidity run. Yeah, eventually I know price will hit this BPR, but it's doing it by generating liquidity in a high resistance. Okay, it's staying in a high resistance liquidity, so there's no way I'm pushing the button today in my live funds. Pablo G is asking, do you take that bullish breaker just because the lower low hit a PDRA? I see a bearish breaker block in the same setup, but I guess it is not in PDRA to take it, right? No, I did took out this setup after price provided liquidity a couple of times. It generated an unfilled fair value gap here, which I can target. So there was not like one confirmation just by looking at this pattern I took this trade. No. Yes, there's a pattern, but this pattern goes with my narrative, right? There's a setup, there's relative equal lows here. This was like relative equal lows, and I was watching it, price cleared it out. At the same time, there's a breaker block right here, lower low, new lower low. Okay, hit it, price hit it beautifully, and now it's moving towards the buy side liquidity. So this was another confirmation. So there was like 3 confirmation before I pushed the button here, and plus it was inside my macro 950 to 1010. That's the macro that I use. And as you can see, price just hit the premium PDRA, and then it just dropping aggressively. So I'll continue to tape read 1050 to 1110 macro, and we'll see like if price is moving to the low resistance liquidity run and providing us a clean setup. Delpine is saying, can you look at hourly chart? There is a breaker block in the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock candle. It just rejected the price on NQ. The hourly chart, there's a breaker. Where is the breaker? These are order blocks, and price is respecting this order block. These are not breaker yet. Once price does closes the candle body below here, it will work as a breaker block, but not right now. So I'm gonna take a 5-minute small break, guys. I'm so hungry. I didn't eat anything, so I'm just gonna eat something like cereal or something. And I'm expecting to see price hitting this PPR. Okay, so let's see if it does that, and I'll come back like after 5 minutes. I'm back. Thanks for waiting. And as you can see, it's a very good example of high resistance liquidity run. MJ is saying, hope his book is very interesting, especially if you want to go deeper into the technical workings of the two algorithm. Do you need it for trading? I would say no. Yeah, I will say no. We already know what's the deeper technical science here. FO is saying, HYDRA, professional traders don't eat when they are trading in front of the chart. Only newbies do that. You are blocked. Thank you. Mike FX GT is saying, phantom trader today run toilet with 12 lot open and not stop loss. Which phantom trader? The Twitter phantom? I don't believe you. Without a stop loss he's doing that, bro. FO is saying, just messing with you, bro. Get some refreshment. Thanks for all you were doing for us. Yeah, it's okay. I understood you were joking. So eventually my trade idea was right, but because of the high resistance liquidity run, price chose to come all the way down, hit the breaker block again. Now it's gonna hit the BPR. As I told you guys that it will eventually hit our BPR, but it's in a high resistance liquidity run. That's what I don't like to see in my breaker block setup, in my A plus breaker block setup. I want to see price hitting my targets aggressively once price activates a breaker block like it did here. Price closed a candle body above. I executed it this candle and this here. Then eventually I got out here without taking any loss. This trade didn't hit my loss. I moved my stop loss in my entry. But it's good to see that price is respecting my narrative. So there's a small little fair value gap right here, and we are inside of our silver bullet zone. Let's see if price hit this fair value gap and then move higher or not. There's no fair value gap that I see that price hit right here. No, there was no fair value gap. Look at this price action here. You wanna trade in this price action? Me, I don't. It's in a high resistance liquidity run. Even though I see a setup, I'm not willing to take it. So this inversion provided good support here, right? Price got support from this inversion. So it's a good example of inversion, even though price is in a high resistance liquidity run. If I drop down to the 1 minute chart, do you guys see how choppy it is? But in retail eyes, they won't be able to see like why price is consolidating inside here. We know why price is doing that and where price is doing that inside this inversion. Okay, Safdar is asking a very nice question. He's saying, just as retail traders get trapped at support and resistance, so can ICT traders get trapped by institution or not? Or what is the reason that even ICT traders get trapped? Okay, it doesn't matter if you are a retail trader or an ICT trader. If you don't have a narrative, okay, you will get trapped. So that's the reason I always focus on the narrative. Our narrative is we want to see price hitting the BPR here. Okay, Safdar, and then price can reject, but eventually we are targeting this. So that's the difference between a ICT trader and the retail trader. I'm not getting trapped here. I know what price is doing here. I know if I should push the button in my live funds or not. I know why price is behaving like this because of the high impact news. Okay, I was expecting a scenario like this. That's why I didn't push the button in my live funds. Okay, that's the difference between an ICT trader and the retail trader. We can distinguish between like a plus setup and then just a normal setup, which is this, a low probability setup. A retail trader, they cannot distinguish between that. So if you are like, suppose you are learning ICT and then you are thinking like you will never take a loss, it won't happen. You will take a loss. Arturo Rodrigo is saying, hello Hydra, thanks for another great stream. You are welcome. Do you have a video talking about projection? I think you are talking about a standard deviation projection. No, I don't have a video, but I can explain it to you here. If I'm suppose using standard deviation projection, how I will use it from this swing high to this low. Okay, like something like this. PDRA projection like this. Okay, where's my projection? Okay, like this. Okay, so our two standard deviation, I basically target the one standard deviation and then the two standard deviation. Okay, in between there I like to take partial, and as you can see, price hit the one standard deviation right here, then got rejected. Now I'm expecting to see price hitting the negative 1.5%, negative 1.5 deviation. Okay, which is this BPR, this 5-minute BPR. So that's how I'm gonna use it. And you can ask me, why are you using from this high and this low? And this was the last low before this expansion, and this low cleared out this low, plus it activated this breaker block. So this was another reason for me to use this low as a standard deviation projection, not anything here. I don't have a video made about the standard deviation projection, but if you wanna see, if you wanna watch more into it, you can check out a YouTube channel that goes by the name T Trades. Okay, search on YouTube BPR space T Trades. You will see like a video there. He makes really good video explaining ICT concepts. So price hit our premium PDRA, the BPR that we were targeting. Right, so I was targeting this BPR. I do see relative equal lows here. Do we have a breaker block here? Yes, this last down close candle, we can expect to see this down close candle working as a BP breaker block, but let's see if price wanna reject from this BPR first, or it wanna go higher. I think it will reject from here. Okay, there's the inversion right here that price already used to get support towards the buy side liquidity. Now I can use this inversion and see like if price is using the same inversion to deliver sell side liquidity. On US30 I don't see any setup, so I'm just gonna ignore US30 and completely focus on NASDAQ for now. Okay, if price is going below this inversion, this will work as an extra confirmation for me to execute inside this breaker block here. Okay, price will eventually get near to our macro, which is at 1050 to 1110, and in between that time I'm hoping to execute. There's a BPR, it's a silver bullet ICT setup. Okay, inside the 10 to 11 period, in between that time zone, we want to see price hitting into a premium PDRA, specifically a fair value gap, which is here. Price did that. This is the first confirmation. Second confirmation is that price hit the premium level, which is here First is price hit the PBR. Second is price hit the premium level, cleared out the relative equal highs, generated relative equal lows here. Now I want to get third confirmation from this inversion. Okay, where is this inversion? In the 5-minute chart. If price want to expand higher, it will do so from this inversion. If price want to go lower, it will not respect this inversion. Rather, it will use this same inversion to hunt sell side liquidity. So that's why I'm focusing in this inversion. And as you can see, price is using this inversion to get support towards the buy side liquidity. Right, so this is how I use certain fair value gaps and order blocks, or suppose other concept, to get confirmation to execute in a breaker block setup. So this is the breaker block here, higher high, new higher high. This is the lowest down close candle. So eventually, suppose if ICT was trading, he will mark this down close candles as a breaker block, but I will execute from this one once price closes a candle body below this inversion. This is gonna be my third confirmation. So as you can see, price is still remaining in high resistance liquidity run, and let's see if price provides us any setup that we can take. Tap inside this BPR is okay, but if price is going above this BPR, I'm not expecting any bullish price bearish price action anymore if price is not respecting this BPR. Abraham is saying, I'm still new and learning ICT concept. How can you tell it is a low probability trade setup? Because of the high resistance liquidity run, because of the past price behavior, because of the high impact news. Okay, there are some kind of confirmation that I was able to see this trade as a low probability. So price hit the BPR again. And now let's see if price is going below this 5-minute inversion. This is not a breaker block. This down close candles that you see here is not a breaker block, as price did a stop hunt here. So this down close candle will work as a mitigation block once price closes a candle's body below this 5-minute inversion. And We are still not inside of our macro, so even if price is closing a candle body below this inversion, I will not take this trade. And now that price is generating relative equal lows, is good. That's what I want to see. Price generating sell side liquidity, strong sell side liquidity before our macro gets started. Once our macro gets started, we will target these relative equal lows, this low, and eventually this low right here. So a stop hunt happened, as you can see. Stop hunt here. So now let's see if price wanna reject from here. We do have our breaker block right here. This candle right here is the lowest compared to this low, this down close candle. So this will work as a breaker block. And I want to see price consolidate until we reach inside of our macro, which is at 1050 to 1110. So now let's see how price does it. So the trade idea is gonna be something like this. I want to see price closing a candle body below here, and if price is doing it early before our macro, then I'll just wait and I'll take the trade from the inversion if I'm missing the setup here. So this is our stop hunt. Okay, price generated a new higher high inside our higher time frame BPR premium PT array. So the stop hunt is here. Last down close candle, which makes it a breaker block, and our macro will start in 10 minutes. I never tried to trade options. I was always sticking with the CFD chart, specifically indices. So price did close the candle body below this breaker block. Now I want to see a small little retracement inside this breaker block, and then this inversion will fail. Now the price activated this breaker block. Okay, I want to see small little rejection from price inside this this breaker block here. So it didn't give me a chance to enter. Really? Okay, I'm still gonna wait. So now that we missed inside of our macro, we can use this breaker block to take a setup. Now let's see if price wanna reject from this breaker block here. Okay, I'm still waiting for price to get inside of our macro zone. That's what I'm waiting for. Only after that I'll push the button. Okay, beautiful rejection. I like that. So today is a day I'll not push the button early. You guys saw me taking early setup, but not today. I'll not do that. I'll follow the rules to the tick today, and I'll see like if price is respecting this breaker block or this breaker block inside my macro zone. Today is not a day for me to take an early execution because of the price action that you guys can see here. So if price is hitting this breaker block right here inside the 1050 to 1110, I'll push the button, but not in this breaker block. I want to see price reaching all the way up here in this breaker block, and then I can engage. Price already confirmed us that it wanna move lower by closing a candle body below this inversion. If this price action was happening inside the 1050 time period, I would have taken this setup. But I prefer to wait and get a little bit more confirmation before I execute. Why 1050? 1050 is the time that I trust. 1050 to 1110 is a macro period. Now that price is delivering before the macro, I'm not getting emotional now that I'm missing this setup. Now the price is eventually hitting my target here, because the same setup will repeat on Monday inside my macro zone. And based on the past price behavior, I wasn't trusting this price action, to be honest. So I prefer to just tape read and wait. HYDRA, what is the name of your macro indicator? I don't have a macro indicator, but some people made it. So if you just search by the name like the macro in the indicator section, you will get it. But I prefer to mark the macro time zones like this. I don't know why people get so lazy to do that. I enjoy it. I enjoy marking the levels like the macro, like I did here. So this was a breaker block, right? And you saw me marking it. Even though price didn't match with the time, that's the reason I didn't push the button. But it was a good setup. Price did a top hunt here, right? Then price closed the candle body below the breaker block right here. Small little retracement like this happened here. That's what I want to see. And eventually price moved lower, as I was expecting to see from this BPR. So the whole trade idea was something like this, right? And a target of like 2R. I would have taken a partial here below this low and eventually let this trade run for like 3R or something. So now we are inside of our macro, and any retracement back to this breaker block. Let's see if we can, if price is retracing back to the breaker block on 5-minute chart. Okay, you can see a small little fair value gap. This is a fair value gap. Okay, and we are still inside of our silver bullet zone. So if price is hitting this fair value gap again, I can take a setup by targeting this relative equal low that price generated right here. So let's see what happens. The fair value gap is here. So let's see how price chooses to deliver. So the setup is going to be something like this. Again, okay, a small little retracement inside this breaker block, and we are eventually going to target like 2R. So now let's see if price does gives me an entry. I want to see price stepping into this breaker block before dropping. So seems like price chose to deliver from this fair value gap from the 5-minute chart. It didn't hit the breaker block again, otherwise I would have taken the entry. Anyways, let's watch this trade paint out. Okay, it's a silver bullet execution. It would have been a silver bullet execution as we have a fair value gap here, a small little fair value gap. So it's a trade continuation macro. Okay, 10.50 to 11.10. I want to see price clearing out this relative equal lows here. Is not respecting on lower time frame. Yes, it's respecting the order block, but on higher time frame, on 5-minute chart, do you see a fair value gap here? Yeah, so inside of our fair value gap, like the silver bullet zone, what do we expect? We expect to see price generating relative equal lows, clean liquidity levels, then hitting a fair value gap and then dropping. This drop that happened, when did it happen? At 10:38 inside the silver bullet zone from this PPR. This is a fair value gap. Price tapped into the fair value gap, which was in the premium level, then it's coming down. Okay, I was expecting to see executing here, but price didn't meet my expectation. I wanted to see price stepping inside this breaker block, then I would have executed. Okay, I don't feel anything now that I missed this setup. Okay, you feel something because you don't know when your setup is gonna be repeating. Me, I know every single day when my setup is gonna be repeating, and once I see a clean setup, I will execute. Otherwise, I'll just keep tape reading. ES gave an opportunity. Let's see what's happening on ES. ES gave an opportunity from where? ES looks nasty to me. From this down close candle, yeah, there's a breaker block. So yes, hit this breaker block again. Yeah, we do have relative equal lows down here, so it's an easy target for like 5 handles. I would have executed here in this candle by targeting this low. It's gonna be like a 1 to 1 hour trade, right? Now let's see how NASDAQ is behaving. So I wanted to execute here. Price didn't give me a chance to enter inside my macro. Price did give me a chance to enter, but it wasn't matching with the time. So it had this price delivery happened before our macro. Now price gave another chance here to enter, but I was expecting to see a little bit more push up into this breaker block and then dropping. It didn't happen. Price just tapped into the breaker fair value gap from the 5-minute chart, and then it's dropping aggressively. US30, how is US30 looking? Looking like it's selling from the inversion that I marked. Okay, what inversion I'm talking about? This is the inversion that I'm talking about. Okay, price is coming all the way up here. Now price stepped into the inversion. We do have relative equal lows right here, so easy target from this inversion. So now let's see if price is hitting this breaker block again. This is gonna be the last trade that I'm gonna take if price is hitting this breaker block again, and then I'll close my stream. I don't have any interest to tape it anymore. So today, folks, I didn't came with a mindset to make money, rather tape read, because look at the price action here. It's in a high resistance liquidity run, not something that I wanna trade. So let's just wait and see how price chooses to deliver. NQ was respecting breaker on NQU 2023 chart. On C-mini chart, it's respecting here too. Okay, now the price hit this breaker block again. I'm gonna execute here. Okay, this is gonna be my last execution, and it's a demo execution. Now let's see if price respect my analysis or not. Stop loss is gonna be above the breaker block. This is the last down close candle. This breaker block is still valid. Price already showed a rejection to reject from this breaker block here. TP can be this relative equal lows. So let's see how price does it. This inversion is gonna be our last line of defense to expect lower prices from this breaker block. Okay, there's an inversion that I marked on 5-minute chart, so I'm watching this inversion too. If price is hitting this inversion, it's okay, but I want to see immediately price rejecting after hitting this inversion. If it's not rejecting, my trade idea is wrong. It's gonna eventually hit my stop loss. ES failed. There was a breaker block, yeah, on ES. Yeah, today is not a good day to push the button in live funds. As I told you guys, it's just like price is in a high resistance liquidity run, just chopping around. So this this candle that opened here, this black candle, this bearish candle, it tapped into the inversion. So I want to see immediate rejection from this here. It's not rejecting, it's gonna seek higher prices. It's a manipulation day, folks. Like look at the liquidity level that price is delivering, how price is delivering. Yes, price is reaching our objective where I want to see the BPR level and all that good stuff, but it's doing that in a high resistance liquidity run. When you wanna avoid trading in your live funds in between when price does that. Rather, you wanna execute in your demo account and see if your trade idea was right or wrong, right? Because price can easily take you out. Okay, eventually your trade idea may be correct, but because now the price is in high resistance liquidity run, it can easily take you out, like it did here. Okay, it moved in my favor. I trailed the stop loss in my entry, then it just came down, hit my stop loss, and then it moved higher, hit my TP right here. So to identify when price is gonna deliver like this, I will give you guys some tip. After a big range day, we expect to see this kind of price action. Okay, like choppy, a lot of consolidation, price is not delivering, like with low resistance liquidity run, rather choosing to deliver in high resistance liquidity run after a high impact news day like FOMC. This is what usually happens most of the time. If I put a ratio like the 70%, 70 to 75% of the time, you will see price delivering like this after FOMC day, after a NFP CPI day. Okay, if suppose inside of a CPI delivery price is like not delivering that quickly, rather just chopping around, delivering low targets, then next day you can expect to see clean setup. But yesterday price was moving aggressively towards the buy side liquidity, so that's why I expected to see high resistance liquidity run delivery, and it happened here. I avoid pushing the button in my live funds. I was just tape reading, as you guys know, and it worked well. So this inversion was our last line of defense to expect lower prices. Do you guys see the logic behind me pushing the stop loss here? Okay, it was above this inversion. So if you are here to use me as a signal, trust me, after some time you will never make in this industry. No one ever did by following anyone's signal. It doesn't matter. Even ICT is giving signal and you are following him because of signals. It's very hard to make in this industry, okay? So I'll trail my stop loss above this inversion. I'm not expecting to see price revisiting this inversion again, but because of the high resistance liquidity round, let's see how price does it. We have these order blocks right here, bullish order block. I don't want to see price respecting it, rather going below it. If price is getting support from these order blocks, okay, and going towards the buy side, I will just close my trade. I have no interest to open, let this position run, even if it's on demo. I try to follow the rules that I will in my live funds. Look at this rejection. That's what I don't want to see. Today is a very good example of how price delivers when it's in a high resistance liquidity run. This is how it delivers. A lot of choppiness, choppy price action. You will see a setup, but price just won't deliver to your level. It will consolidate, it will chop, okay, a lot of choppiness. It will respect the levels that you don't want to see price respecting in a normal day, like it respected these order blocks here. That's what I don't want to see price respecting, but it did here, okay? In a clean day, you will see this candle just going through these order blocks aggressively. So price generated relative equal lows here. We are still inside of our macro, so I'm gonna still hold, but let's see how it happens. Christian Ilya is asking, how long have you traded for? Like for how long I've been trading? It's gonna be like 2 years. Yeah, two years. Yeah, like 2.5 years, like this. So price hit the breaker block again. Now I'm expecting to see immediate rejection. If price is like coming back to it, the breaker block again, my whole trade idea is wrong. So I'll put my stop loss here above this candle's body. I'm not willing to see price revisiting this inversion again. If price wanna drop, it will do so from this breaker block now that he's hitting it again. But if it's moving way more than that, it will just hit my stop loss eventually. So I'll just trail it and lower my risk. I have no idea what is happening today. Saying yeah, what is happening? You want to avoid this kind of price action. You just want to demo trade all day. If you are trading in this kind of price action, even on demo, it's frustrating. A lot of like, it's not a clean price action. It will generate a lot of emotion inside you. So this trade is eventually hit our stop loss. This is gonna be it for today, folks. Okay. Price was in a high resistance liquidity run. It wasn't in a mood to respect our analysis. I did show a couple of setup, okay, and most of that, every single one of the setup hit my stop loss. This setup, okay, it hit my stop loss, but I didn't took any loss because my stop loss was in my entry. Eventually price hit my target, but we couldn't make it from this setup, right? Same here. I trail my stop loss here. Now price hit my stop loss, and now it's gonna be hitting my target, as you will see. That's how price does it when it's in a low high resistance liquidity run. right? Look at the price delivery here. No one is making profit here. Trust me, no one is. If anyone is making profit in this trade, they know how to trade like back and forth. Like suppose entering here, then closing their position here, then entering selling here, closing their position here. If someone can do something like this, then it's okay. They're like the pro, but I'm not. In this kind of situation, I just avoid trading my live funds. And now you know why I do that, right? I outlined the setup here. It didn't give me a chance to enter. Then I outlined the setup. It hit my stop loss. Eventually, it hit my target. Then I outlined a setup again here. No chance of entry inside the our macro, right? Price eventually hit our target, but without matching with our time zone. And now the price matched with our time zone. It hit the breaker block, hit the inversion. It should remain aggressively bearish towards the sell side liquidity, but it didn't. It just came down, hit this order block, got rejected, hit my stop loss. Now let's see. Okay, I'm gonna close the stream once price like hits this relative equal lows. I wanna see if price clear these levels out or not. Okay, only after that I'm closing. So I'm still gonna taper it. Let's see how price does it. Look at the delivery, folks. I don't like this delivery, and it's not good at all. Narshas is saying, I've learned a lot today, boss. Many thanks. You are welcome, brother. Maria is saying, I took a $58 loss. Usually I risk 600 to 700 per trade. Not today. Minimum risk. Happy I done today. Yeah, I didn't even touch my live funds, so I'm happier than you, Maria. Like, I took loss on my demo. It doesn't affect me, but suppose I was pushing button on my live funds in this trade, I would have been like so emotionally high because of the reason why I pushed the button, even though I know that it's in a high resistance liquidity run. Even after knowing that if I push the button, I'll be like crying right now. And now I'm happy because I learned from my experience. CI is saying, do you stream live every day from non-premium members or VIP members has more access? No one has more access. If I'm trading, if I'm streaming, even my paid membership student, and there's no paid membership, it's just a YouTube membership, they will also see it with you. So yeah, if I'm streaming, you will see it. There's no like premium stream or anything like this. Okay, Ruben is saying, literally told you twice there's a fair value gap there and asked you if you wouldn't consider it as an entry. You ignore it, then oh surprise, my stop loss got hit. Well, of course you put the stop inside the fair value gap XD. Wow, Ruben, it seems like knows better than me. What inversion level you were talking about, Ruben? I don't see you mentioning. Okay, why aren't you considering 15,200 as a potential entry? Instead, there's a little fair value gap there. How I want to see me executing is, I already showed you, okay? That's how I execute in a trade. And that's how I do it in a clean day. Today, it in my stop loss and you are getting angry. Ruben, I think you followed my execution and it's as a signal, right? That's what you should not do. Follow me as a signal. Rather, I was tape reading by pushing button on demo account. Okay, you don't know when you should push button in your demo or your live funds, Ruben, so you better not like give any like what ideas. What I do better, I already did it here. Okay, all the confirmation that I got, I executed here. That was like my high confirmation. It was inside the fair value gap, so inside the macro zone, and my stop loss was above the inversion. If price wanna respect my trade idea, it will do so. If after hitting this inversion, if not, if price is rejecting from the order blocks right here again, then it will go above the inversion. That's why I trail my stop loss here, and as you can see, it's just delivering aggressively towards the buy side liquidity. It's nowhere near where I was targeting. Right, Ruben? Whatever you were saying, it's just bullshit. US30 done well. US30 done well. What? Oh, from this inversion, Yeah, US30 delivered quite nicely from this inversion that I marked. But look at the delivery here. Price didn't even clear the relative equal lows that was resting here. It just came all the way down here. Then it got rejected. Today is not a tradable day from my experience. In my eyes, it's in a high resistance liquidity run. William is saying, HYDRA, what was the most important lesson from Micah's live stream yesterday, in your opinion? From yesterday's live stream, it was a long live stream and a lot of jam that he dropped. And most of the things that I already knew, he was talking about the inversion fair value gap. I was already using it. And I was using it like he was telling us to do. So there was nothing new for me to like take as a jam. I already knew most of the stuff, but one thing that I didn't knew is like the dead zone he mentioned, which runs from like the 5 a.m. till the 7 a.m. I didn't know that that's a dead zone. I know I knew that I shouldn't be trading inside the zone because very less of the time I see A plus setup inside that zone, but now it's official. ICT mentioned it as a dead zone, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. That's the period that we shouldn't be trading, and that's something that I got, and I think it's the most important thing for me from yesterday live stream. He talked about the FOMC after FOMC setups. I already know that he already mentioned about this couple of times in his Twitter spaces, and he didn't make a specific video about how to trade the FOMC. So if you were like into those stuff, it's maybe new for you, but it wasn't new for me. So yeah, there's nothing new that he discovered or shared with us yesterday. Whatever he shared, it was here all the time. Yeah, Gabby saying people see a loss and automatically become professors lol. Yeah, someone like Ruben, yeah, a noob trader. He was telling me why he was telling me like to take an entry in the inversion that I showed you guys on the 50-minute chart. And then when I did push the button earlier, and when price got rejected from here, he was like, okay, I told you so. Bro, what the fuck are you doing? If you told you so, make your own stream. I'll gladly watch your stream, how you are calling the market. I'll do that. So this breaker block failed. This one failed. Price is just seeking higher liquidity right now. Price left relative equal lows here. It's better that I didn't hold this trade here. Okay, I managed it beautifully. In my eyes, I did that. Okay, so I gained experience from that, how to manage my trade in low resistance liquidity run, in a high resistance liquidity run like this, and I did well in my eyes. Okay, so I'm happy with whatever I did. If you weren't, you maybe push the button with me in your live funds, right? I managed to get 70% on this trade. I didn't like the return to the breaker block, so I closed out my trade. My number one rule is not let a winning trade turn into a losing trade. Yeah, that's what I do. The same thing, that's what I do too. ICT BPR explanation was very good. 4 hours 35 minutes. Yeah, he did the same thing in the live stream before. Okay, he talked about the BPR. Whatever he talked tomorrow, like yesterday in his live stream, he did talked about it in his previous live stream. And I already made a template about whatever he talked in the live stream about BPR. So this is gonna be it from my side today, guys. I personally learned a lot by tape reading with you all today, like how price delivers in a high resistance liquidity run, how I should expect price to deliver. Like here, I moved my stop loss, right? So I learned that I should put my stop loss below the breaker, take some risk, and let the trade run. And I did manage well, so I'm happy with my management. And this is gonna be it. Maybe tomorrow or this weekend, I am willing to do like a crypto live stream. If I do that, if I see any clean setup on crypto, I'll do that. Until then, Be safe. Don't push a setup. Don't push or force a trade idea today. Okay, price is in a high resistance liquidity run. Look at the deliveries here. We don't want to see price delivering like this. Rather, in a low resistance liquidity run, hitting our target easily. Okay, folks. So with that saying, I'm closing here. Take care and peace.